So I have an update to a story I talked about last week down in Atlanta. Now, if you haven't been following this, you had a group of these Antifa environmental wacko protesters who were railing against the cops because they wanted to set up this cop city or training area. They're going to clear out some woods. And these bonehead protesters had set up an autonomous zone. So when the cops tried to haul them out of there, one of these idiots decides to shoot at a state trooper. The cops fire back. This guy ends up, I think, in the hospital, later dies. And they were planning this night of rage Friday night. Well, nothing happened Friday. But Saturday night, they penetrated 2 blocks in Atlanta, damaging some storefronts, setting a cop car on fire. Well, as it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, on the very same night in Boston, and this is a story that hasn't gotten a lot of play, so I want to talk about it. And I've got to give a shout out to Tucker Carlson, because I'm one of those people where if I see a door, I like to open it. If it's ajar, I'll just open it a little bit more, see what's inside. Now, this is at the Daily Mail. And Tucker was talking about this, how House Democrat Minority Whip Catherine Clark, who's from Massachusetts' 5th District, I believe that's Boston Commons. Her son, who she refers to as her quote-unquote daughter, Jared Riley Dow, was caught allegedly spray painting "All cops are bastards" and "No Cop City," which is what they were protesting about down in Atlanta. You know the old saying, there are no coincidences. So it says here, House Democrat leader's daughter is arrested after their son, who they call their daughter, spray painting "All cops are bastards" on monument and assaulting officer during Antifa protest in Boston. Now, the interesting thing about this is that this took place at the Parkman Bandstand. Now, the Parkman Bandstand in the Commons is the exact same location in 2007 that Obama had his Freedom Rally. So I'm going to read the article to you. But this isn't the real story. The real story is these protesters in Boston that were protesting on the same night as these Antifa types down in Atlanta. But let me read this article to you. See if I can find the author here. By Vanessa Cerna. And this came out, I believe, yesterday, 22nd. Top Democrat Catherine Clark's daughter, again, her son, who she refers to as her daughter, was arrested during an Antifa protest in Boston. Police allegedly witnessed Jared Riley Dow spray painting "All cops are bastards" and "No Cop City" on a Parkman Bandstand monument on the eastern side of the Boston Common on Saturday around 9:30 p.m., around the same time that they were having these protests down in Atlanta. Clark, who is the House Minority Whip, addressed Dow's contentious arrest, calling it a difficult time. Dow is also non-binary, just like this protester who shot at this state trooper and was shot and killed in return. Last night, my daughter, quoting Clark here, was arrested in Boston, Clark wrote on Twitter. Quote, "I love Riley, and this is a very difficult time in the cycle of joy and pain and parenting." BS. I'm thinking this is a type of parent that isn't really around for their kid. They're just too busy working. This will be evaluated by the legal system, and I am confident in that process. And they've got a picture of the Parkman Bandstand, where they spray painted "No Cop City," "Don't call it public safety," and "Rest in peace, Tortuguita." Tortuguita was the nickname of that protester who shot at a state trooper in Atlanta, who also, again, claimed to be non-binary. They're on the march, folks. These people are on the march. So let me go down to the article. Now they've got a picture of, go further down the article here, but they've got a picture of Clark's son, daughter, non-binary, he, she, they, it, proper pronoun, kid, person, thing. Whatchamacallit. But about 20 protesters surrounded cops while Dow 23 was arrested with some shouting profanity through megaphones. The protest led to traffic coming to a complete stop as participants created a scene on the sidewalk, police said. One protester hit an officer in the face, causing him to bleed from his nose and mouth, police said. Dow 23 was charged with assault by means of a dangerous weapon, destruction or injury of personal property, and damage of property by graffiti. So they're going to arraign Dow in Boston Municipal. Going to have a nice little trial. What a stooge. And you know, because I got to mention this, you know that these people were probably behind what happened January 6th. I was doing the overnight shift over the weekend, and we have one of these ABC news networks, you know, the type that's watched by maybe 5 people on an airport somewhere, or a hotel lobby in my case, because I work at a hotel. That's my day job. But I do the audit on the weekends, so I work overnight. And it turns out that about 200, maybe a little more than 200, of these quote-unquote insurrectionists are ex-military, claiming they're part of the Oath Keepers or these other groups, these Trump supporters. They're ex-military, but they never said veteran. They never said these were veterans. They called them ex-military. Now, I'm not a conspiracist, but what are the odds that these same people, because we know going back to 2020 that Antifa had posters circulating that told people to dress up like Trump supporters and infiltrate the crowd at these Trump rallies? What are the odds that these are the very same people who were involved with instigating the violence January 6th? Now, that's not to say that you didn't have some people who got out of hand, because I'm sure you did. But when you've got police officers or security basically letting these people into the Capitol building, just waving them on in, and there's a lack of security, not trying to go down the road of January 6th here, but I think there's a connection here. Antifa is definitely on the march. Thought I'd bring this to your attention. What happened in Atlanta and what happened in Boston. Go check out this story at the Daily Mail. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. You can also follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or find me at Twitter, Cultural Confederacy at Twitter. You know how we do it here. This is the Cultural Confederacy, where the past crashes with the present. So thank you for being with me. God bless y'all. God bless this thing we call the United States. Peace out, and I'll catch you next time.